Okay, we are live. Thank you so much, Mark, the Travelling Bushman, for joining us here at Wild Animals Australia. We're going to have a chat about your career and want some interesting stories. So first of all, I'm Tennille. I'm from Wildlife Empire. And this is Mark. He's the Travelling Bushman. So Mark's background, do you want to give us a little bit of your background on what you do in regards to wildlife management?
At the moment, I work as a fauna spotter catcher and I work as a snake catcher. So I work for Hudson's Snake Catching on the Gold Coast. I've been working with wildlife and wildlife management and wildlife conservation tourism. I'm 44 years of age now, but since I've been 17 years of age, so that's a long time. It makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Sometimes in years gone past, I've thought, I've had enough of this. I don't want to do it anymore. And I've been out of the industry for very, very little periods of time. Then I've been straight back in it. But I've always said, if you wake up in the morning and if you do your job's your passion, mission complete.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So what first got you into the wildlife management and the snake catching?
Way back Wednesday, I lived down the road from the old Australian Reptile Park. And I remember down at Wyoming or down at Gosford. Now, I used to ride my push bike on the weekends and in the 80s on Saturday and Sunday past that place. And I remember hearing, coming up at 11:30, Eric, the crocodile feeding. I thought, I want to do that. I thought, I really want to be a part of that. And I remember you couldn't volunteer there until you were like 16 and a half. And I wanted so badly to be a part of that. And I remember when I hit 16, they didn't have any applicants available, that there was no room, and I was really cut. And then I finally got a foot in the door. I think when I was 18, with the Reptile Park moved up to Somersby, and I was a volunteer and a casual there for working in the mammal section for about 2 years.
Yep.
But yeah, that's where it all started. Yeah.
Awesome. And was there a particular moment where you knew that this was definitely what you were meant to be doing in this line of work? Was there a defining moment?
Okay, this is going to sound like a bit of a cliche. Yes. Back in the day, before Steve Irwin got really big, back in 1990, 1991, watching his conservation message, before it was this huge megastar and all that stuff, when everything was simple. That's what I wanted to aspire to be, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting him years ago, before he passed away. But those two combined, the Reptile Park in Gosford and Steve Irwin, watching Malcolm Douglas, the Barefoot Bushman, that's what I really inspired to be, and
No, that's cool. So obviously you're on the road a lot in your job. What would you say the hardest part about living your life constantly on the road?
I'm really glad you asked that. The depression. Years ago, I was working for a company called Crocodile Encounters, not around anymore. That's another story. I used to travel in New South Wales doing wildlife shows, and when I first started this job in at the end of 2016, the owner of the company said, "Now, you're going to be doing lots of traveling." I used to travel New South Wales. He said, "What's the depression?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "You'll be wheeling and dealing with people all day, and you go to your hotel room, and bang, there's nothing." And I get it now. I mean, I do 2.5, 3,000 Ks a week.
Yeah.
And you bounce from hotel room to hotel room, and there are times where it gets on that road, it gets really lonely. This goes back to why I created the Travelling Bushman Facebook page.
Okay.
Because I got sick to death of just sitting in my hotel room. I'm not a big drinker at all. I don't smoke. I don't like nightclubs or pubs. And I thought, I want people to see what I see. I want people to. I want to engage in people, to show them the wildlife shows, to show them Old Dubbo Ghost Town Jail. I want to show them the places, the wildlife that I see.
Yeah.
And that's how it really started. And I thought, look, I'll give it a go. And I'll see how it works. And I remember saying to a mate of mine, I was in the middle of New South Wales, the middle of Bumfuck, nowhere and beyond. And I said, I need a page name. What is it going to be? And he's Travelling Mark? No. It's the Zoo Show? No. And I stopped and I said, what about the name Travelling Bushman? And that's where it started from there. So, yeah, it's been a hell of a road.
Yeah. So you found that doing that on Facebook and having that outlet and sharing what you do, that really helped with your depression?
The only time the depression really hit is the solitary moments.
Yeah.
I can't sit down for too long. I get
Yeah.
issues. I'm always going to be up doing something. But yeah, I didn't see the point. I mean, there's some of these awesome locations around New South Wales. I mean, one week I'd be down the border of New South Wales and Victoria. A week and a half later, I'd be at the border of New South Wales and Queensland. I thought, oh, I want people to see what I see.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to take my phone around and interview complete not random strangers at Moree, Dubbo, and Narrabri, and complete random strangers, and come up and say, "What's there to do in this town?" And sometimes you get some really good responses, and sometimes you have people that will tell you, "He's all."
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it funny? Because I find that I'm quite the opposite. So I'm obviously, as a wildlife carer and rescuer, we deal with lots of people, members of public every day. I find that is the stressful part for me. The thing I love most is coming home at night and having nothing, having no people, just me and the wildlife, and I'm doing feeds and it's quiet and no one's ringing me. And to me, it sounds bizarre.
Yeah. No, I get it. I do get it, but when you're going from hotel to hotel room, location to location, it gets really lonely, you know?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So obviously you experience a lot of wildlife encounters in your job. What's been your most memorable close call with a dangerous animal?
Oh, my God. What's been yours?
My most memorable, well, it wasn't really a close call, but it was definitely, I'm very, very careful when I'm dealing with venomous snakes. So I've never really had any real close calls, but I think my most memorable experience, and if you Google my name, it will come up. I actually got a spotted black out of a public toilet in Gundawindi with police escort.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The police were actually standing there waiting, and they actually filmed it for me. And I went viral, and I got international fame for like all these toilets in Australia. So I think that was probably, I'm the toilet girl. So I think that's probably my most memorable experience. And it wasn't the first one, but it just that it because we filmed it, it went completely viral. And I got
my most memorable moment. See, my favourite animal is crocs. I love crocodiles. Yeah. I first went to Darwin in 2003. And have you ever been to Darwin before?
No, it's on my list.
Incredible place. We got off the plane. There's a place called Shady Camp. I think kind of headed towards Arnhem Land, Kakadu, around there. Apparently, it was or is one of the biggest places for crocs, right?
Right.
Off the plane, hire van, bang, straight out to Shady Camp. And I said, I want to see a croc. There is a 4-meter croc sitting on the bank, right? And all the boys are complete girls sitting in the van just, and I said, hey, if you think I'm sitting in this van watching a croc from there, no. Now, mind you, this was back in the day where social media and, you know, things were a little bit relaxed back then. I came up to this croc, stood my feet on the ground, banged my feet on the ground. This 4.5-meter boy spun around, looking at me, jaws wide open, and it was for me buzz. So I ended up going near the water, splashing near the water, went in the water and took off. Complete no suicide.
So that was your first experience with
Please
a wild
don't do that.
crocodile?
That's my first wild crocodile, yeah.
Cool.
Please don't do that. Don't do that. But look, back then things were, I mean, I worked with Crocodiles Park previously, so I know croc behaviour, but never seen a crocodile in the wild. That was my most memorable moment. Most close call. Years ago, I was rehabilitating a death adder. Now, and this little beautiful death adder. it wouldn't feed. And I remember saying to my mum, look, I'm trying to get this death adder to feed. And death adders are like crazy, crazy strikes. They're really fast. And I said to my mum, just don't come in here while I'm trying to get this thing to feed, okay? She said, yep, no worries. And I got the tongs out there and dangling this thing. Mum, God love her, she's not here anymore. She passed away to cancer a couple of years ago.
Sorry to hear.
Mum, she opens up the door. Oh, by the way, do you want a cup of tea? This death adder flies out past my cheek and comes
Oh,
back. Like,
wow.
misses my side of my right face by a 15th of an inch. She
Wow.
froze. I froze.
Oh my
And she
gosh.
said, Mum never, ever, ever swears. That's the only time I ever heard her swear. And she's gone, beep. I better go now. And she just stealthy walked away.
Oh, could you imagine how she would have felt if it had have actually tagged you? She never would have forgiven herself.
She was she knew she'd effed up, and I've never. Mum was a real prim and proper lady. She never swore, but that time I heard her swore, and I actually turned around and said, "She swore."
That's what you took out of that.
What's the worst bite you've ever had?
Honestly, out of, are we talking reptiles or are we talking all kinds of wildlife?
All kinds of animals. Worst bite. I've got
Gliders.
2, maybe 3.
Gliders.
I got nailed about 2 years ago. I had a welder's glove on. I was checking to see if it was a male or female. This bugger bit me on the finger, and I've still got an indent to this day in the welder's glove for something so small. My God, that's horrible.
Isn't it funny? People expect it to be, snakes and crocodiles that are the worst. But this here, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. That scar there is from a swamp wallaby. A swamp wallaby.
I've seen someone bitten on the chest by a sugar glider.
Oh yes, just those teeth and that jaw.
When I was with this person had this glider, and they're treating it like some people do with wild animals, with these cute animals, and so cute and beautiful, and it latched onto her chest right here. And you're like, what do you do in that situation? So you just laugh and like, I told you. The worst bite that I've ever had, between 1.25 meter croc. It got me on the, I don't know if you can see it, but it got me on the finger there, there, there.
Yeah. Was that a saltwater or
koala on the shoulder? That was horrible. In training, young and dumb, and just wasn't paying attention. It nailed me on the shoulder, something chronic like the. Imagine someone getting you on the side of your shoulder and just squeezing it. My God.
Yeah.
And I got nailed on the heel by a red-bellied black snake in 2018.
Ooh.
I was camping and my boot got stuck in the mud. I was standing in water, and as I pulled my boot up, it tagged me on the heel, but I didn't see. It got me with one fang. So I thought, okay, I don't know what was that about. It felt like a really, really intense wasp sting. So I thought, I'll just walk to the car. And I just wasn't. I thought I might go to the hospital just in case.
Yeah.
Within about 3 minutes, I started getting pulsating headaches at the back of the head, underneath the eyes. I thought, yeah, okay. Flew to the hospital.
Yeah.
Got to the triage. I was grey, and I said to the triage nurse, I've been bitten by something venomous. I knew I was bitten by a venomous snake because the palms of my hands I could.
So you didn't know what it was?
Didn't know what it was.
Wow.
No idea. I had no idea it was a snake because it got me with one fang, and I thought, could it have been a funnel web? I didn't know. Got to the hospital. They sat me down. Indian doctor said, you've been bitten by a tiger snake. And I said, no chance in hell, because I just drove 35 minutes to the hospital. There's no way. So we had this disagreement. I said, I reckon it's been a red belly. We never quite knew. I reckon it was a red belly. I had a low dose of tiger snake antivenom. I had allergic reaction to tiger snake antivenom. I was sick for about 3 months. I lost all sense of taste and smell. There was for about a day I couldn't feel my legs, and I've been told if I ever get bitten again, if I ever need antivenom again, it's lights out, dirt nap, bioski.
So does that scare you or make you do
Nah,
anything differently?
no, it doesn't scare me at all. No, I mean, look, when I'm working with venomous snakes, you have to have that element of fear.
Yeah,
Just like with snakes, just like with
absolutely.
crocs, you have to have that healthy
Yeah,
respect
healthy.
of
Yes.
healthy respect of the body. And like you're a trained professional, you know what you're doing, but there's always that aspect of if I stuff up, this is gonna suck. So you have to have, if you don't have fear in this job, working with snakes, working with crocs, don't do it. Because if you don't have fear,
Yeah.
you are going to die. But yeah,
Yeah.
that it does sit on my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
I think every snake catcher thinks, you know, we got a pretty serious job, but you can't let that. Your mind can play on that,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
really can't let that take over.
No, that's right. Can't be in the forefront all the time. Yeah, but
It can't be.
yeah, you have to definitely have that respect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what animal would you reckon has surprised you the most with its
Believe it or not, crocodiles. Um, we have 5 meter crocodile, big, gnarly, aggressive, dominant. But when it's breeding season,
Yeah.
the female will come up and she'll kind of slap him around and say, back off, like I want to feed. And she'll come up, he'll back off and he will let her feed. And the way males and females mate and they breed, and he'll be submissive to her. It's artwork. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
If you
it
ever
is.
get
It's
the chance, go
fascinating, isn't it?
yeah, go watch a male and a crocodile, male and a female croc breed. It's just beautiful. So
Yeah.
that's what surprises me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So just talking a little bit about education and conservation now. Um, why do you think snake catching and fauna spotting is so important for both people and wildlife?
Snow catching's important because, I mean, we live in 2025, but at the same token, I feel like in some ways we're moving backwards as a society. More and more people are being educated, but more and more people need to be aware of this is a snake. Please don't touch it. If you touch it, you will die. So why that's so sorry, answer that question again. You there? She froze.
I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah, okay. So what was that question? I got
So the
sidetracked.
question is, why do you think it's so important, not just the snake catching, but also the fauna spotting? Why do you think it's so important for both people and wildlife?
If we can educate our future generation on the importance of keeping our vegetation around us, keeping our hollows, keeping trees, we can educate the people on the importance of snakes, then we're better off. We really need to educate the future generation of a native fauna,
Yeah.
and I feel that I really worry that's lacking at the moment.
Absolutely.
Does that kind of answer that question?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, look, people are going to hate me for saying this, but bugger, I'm going to say it, and I'm sure you feel the same way. I get really frustrated sometimes when people say solar farms and wind farms and turbo farms are clean energy. It's like, dude, I work as a fauna spotter. I'm one of these guys that goes on the ground and watches all this habitat being cleared for solar farms and wind farms. When all's said and done, all the habitat hollows, all the insects, all the insectivores, there's nothing there. And I've said, how is this clean energy? It's horrible.
Yeah, it's a
So
very tricky topic, that one, because you're moving towards cleaner energy and things like that. But at the same time, in order to get it to that, to what they're wanting, you're destroying habitats and you're wiping
yeah,
out species. And yeah, that's a really tricky one.
yeah.
So do you think that the public education should play a role in conservation? Like, do you feel that? What do you think we should be doing to, especially within the public school system and public education for communities, in getting the message out there?
How the hell am I going to word this without sounding right? I'm going to try and find the best way to word this without sounding racist. Okay, I really
Okay.
wish please to God, Mark, word this right. Anyone that's coming to this country as a holiday or you're staying here permanently, I wish people would be educated more on, if you live at Talai, if you live at Mount Tambourine, if you live in the bush, you got to get all this, you got to get this and this, and you got to get this as well. I don't quite understand. I mean, up here in Queensland, primary school and high school, kids are being taught Japanese. Teach them about a native fauna.
Yeah.
Teach them about a native flora and fauna, and I feel it's lacking. So does that kind of make
Look,
sense?
it does. It makes sense, but I think it's not just people from overseas. Like, honestly, people that are 100% Australian, that were born here in the country, parents born here, you know, generations, zero education. Like, if, for example, if you go to Movie World, there's a ton of water dragons around, lots and lots of water dragons, and I will be standing there in line, and the Aussies are standing there going, "Oh, look at the iguana! Look at the iguana! Look at the iguana!" It's not the tourists that are saying it; it's the Aussies that are like, "Oh, look at that iguana!" And even I live very rural. I find that even like all the farmers and stuff like that, they'll ring me and they're like, "Oh, there's a porcupine here. I don't know what to do with this porcupine. You know, my dogs are barking at the porcupine."
You know, I had a
You
call
know?
out yesterday where I went to this house and this guy's standing in his cupboard, no shoes and with a shovel. And I said, "All right, so tell me what the issue is." "It's an Eastern Brown. It's an Eastern Brown." "So what is an Eastern Brown?" "No shoes, standing there with a shovel." I said, "Right, okay, it's just what I need you to do is just stand back. You've done the right thing. Put a towel at the cupboard door. Just let me take care of it." And this guy was losing his mind. You know what it was? It was a pink-tongued skink.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. I find that a lot too.
We
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
We have moved forward as a society, but I believe in the way of wildlife education and wildlife conservation, we have a long way to go. Um, you know, people. I don't understand. Sometimes I don't quite get people's ways of thinking. Where if there's a snake on the footpath, everyone goes down the road. Everyone gets on the group chat, and you know, there's a snake, and everyone loses their mind.
Their
So,
Facebook community pages. "Oh, look out! There's a brown snake down at the boat ramp."
oh, doesn't that just do your head in? It's like, leave it alone. It's not doing anything.
What do you? Of course it
You
is.
got more chance of being stung by that European bee over there and dying than you do by that snake.
That's right. I just want to bring up a comment that's just been flagged, Mark.
No.
Linda said, "We had a caller who told us he did a cesarean on a possum to help her birth her two babies. It was actually her pouch. So he took the babies he did a cesarean to cut the babies out of her pouch, and said that he did a cesarean to help her give birth." Like, that's just next level crazy. That's just, to not know that that's like, yeah, I know, like, that is just, yeah, it's quite.
I would love to know who that organisation is.
Yeah, I wasn't an organisation. I think from the way Linda's worded, I think it was a member of public. Yeah, and an Australian member of public. So yeah, that's just, yeah, the mind.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of calls that I have, everywhere they say it's a brown snake, and it's a blue. I had one about a week ago where it was a python. You know, like, dude, it's not a brown snake. I'm like, no.
Am I back?
So, yeah, you're back.
Sorry, I cut out.
That's okay.
Okay, so a really important question I wanted to ask you is, if you could change one thing about how people treat wildlife, what would it be?
Oh, that's such a massive question.
Very broad. Yeah, very broad.
Oh my! You came up with that question, didn't you? You're gonna make me think now.
I think it's a good one because
It is a very good one. If I could change if I could change one way of someone thinking, but that's such a, like, it depends what animal it is, you know.
Yeah.
If it's a dingo on Gari or Fraser, whatever you want to call it, let's go with dingoes first off. The dingoes on Gari, they're not starving. There's plenty of food source in there for the animal on the island. Same with the crocodiles. Crocodile numbers. Where do I start with crocs? What animal to start? Oh, I guess I'd say can't answer that question because I've got each and every different animal for each and every different question.
Okay, that's fair. I'll answer it from my point of perspective. I think the biggest thing for me is just respect. Respect. Leave them alone. Treat them the same as you would. Like if you were driving past and saw a child sitting on the road with, a broken limb, would you keep driving? No, you wouldn't. You'd stop and you'd get it help. I just want people. There's one thing I would change: respect and empathy. I guess that's two different things, but in essence, just bloody respect. It's not
What I
hard.
would love is more understanding of that animal's pain,
Mm.
whether it's a skink or a snake, whatever animal is, they all feel pain. I mean, I get quite upset when I see certain snake catchers out there tail tipping snakes all the way up here. Like, you don't need to do that.
No, that's right.
More empathy and more understanding of that animal's pain because they all feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just because they don't show pain the way we do doesn't mean that they're not experiencing it.
Yeah.
All right. So another one of the questions is, how do you safely identify whether a snake is venomous or not? So would you recommend, I guess?
Yeah, fries.
Did
There
I?
you back.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, apologies to everyone. I'm in the middle of the forest
okay.
and I've got Macca's Wi-Fi, it seems. So when you get a snake call out, how do you go about identifying whether it's venomous or non-venomous?
Unless I've got okay, so if you see a snake and if you need it identified, send that picture to a professional trained snake catcher, someone that has got their damage mitigation permit, someone who is a trained snake catcher. Send them that picture and they will identify whether it is a venomous snake or a non-venomous snake. Never ever identify a snake over the phone just by scales, and markings, because it could be an Eastern brown that is the second most venomous snake in the world, and that is a very, very quick way you can have a dirt nap.
Yeah, and that's good advice. All right, so another question. You did touch lightly on dingoes before, so I'm just wanting to ask your perspective about dingoes. Do you think they're really dangerous, or are they misunderstood?
So dingoes are Australia's only land apex predator. No one really knows how long they've been here for. There's a rough estimate. I mean, scientists have roughly figured out dingoes have been here anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20,000 years. No one knows. You can't actually put a finger point on how long they've been here for. But what has been established is they are Australia's only land apex predator. They can be aggressive if they are provoked, like on K'gari or Fraser Island. Food aggression, you feed them, they get habituated, then they can attack. Can they be aggressive? Yes, I think people need to treat dingoes as the Australian version of the lion. Treat them as a distance. Yes, they are beautiful.
But they're a wild animal, right? So
they're a wild animal. That's right. And they have a crazy amount of jaw pressure. These are seriously intelligent animals, and dingoes are with dingo conservation. We've come a long way. We've still got a long way to go. I would love to see dingoes protected more in Australia. I'd love to see dingoes protected more on K'gari. I agree with how things are ran at the moment on the island. I think it's lacking. K'gari has upwards of 800,000 tourists a year, and the conservation management gets pushed up against the wall, and tourists come first. I mean, I certainly would never ever want to see tourists stopped on the island, but I'd love to see tourism numbers managed a lot better than what it is now, because the island is just getting smashed. When COVID hit, it was the best thing that happened to the island. You had echidnas out, and all the snakes and the wildlife, the dingoes were coming out, and but I really worry about what's going to happen to K'gari within years to come. I really do.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those unknowns, but dingoes, like any other animal, Liz has said, like any native, they're defensive when they're threatened. So, I'd be feeling aggressive and, protective too if my space was being,
People are just gotta understand. I mean, with that jogger that got attacked, again, they're an apex predator. They see you as food. If you go on the island, for God's sake, supervise your children. I have been on their island so many times, time and time and time again. I've seen children playing 500 meters away. The parents are up there. Like, you're not going to go to Africa and do that. So why would you do it on the island? You know, when there's an attack happened, Dingo gets the
Well,
blame.
it's just common sense, isn't it? Really, like you should be supervising your kids no matter where in Australia. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I mean, look at
snakes, there's dingoes. You know, like you need to be protecting. Well, you need to just be. It's just common sense. You need to be supervising your children no matter
look
what.
happened
If
in the last
they're
attack.
for a while
Where
able to be.
was where were the parents?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got another an interesting question now, sort of switching switching the tone. What's one piece of gear that you absolutely cannot live without? So if you're getting a call out or you're going away for a trip, what is one piece of gear that you must have?
One piece of gear. Where is it? And I'll get it in a sec. So I have two pieces of gear. First off, my hat got stolen, so I've got another one.
Oh,
Hat, right?
first.
And a first aid kit.
Yep.
Two things that I will not go without. Why? Because these have. Does it have it in here? No. This is an old one, but doesn't have a pressure bandage in here. But I won't go anywhere without these two things.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Very smart. Very smart.
But I just love the hat.
And here's it's a good hat. Yeah. And yeah, safety is important, especially when you're out there. The Australian sun is harsh. Just a couple of questions, just some sort of fun questions. If you could swap your life with one animal for just one day, what would it be and why?
If I could swap my life with one animal for one day, boy, wedge-tailed eagle. No,
Yeah.
between a wedge-tailed eagle or a falcon, yeah.
Why is that?
Because they're just such beautiful wedge-tailed eagles. They're just such beautiful, majestic,
Yeah.
gorgeous animals.
They take
and
your breath away
falcons,
whenever you see them, don't
yeah.
they? Like every single time you
And
see it, take your breath away.
and if you've ever seen a falcon on the hunt, these things go at crazy speeds. I once saw a falcon pin down a wonga pigeon from, like, I don't know how fast this bird was going, but this pigeon was going along there, and this falcon smacked this thing probably well over 200 k's an hour, and all I saw was fluff.
Wow. Yeah.
Such an impressive bird. Yeah. I've seen the aftermath of a wedge-tailed eagle's. Have you ever been down the bottom of a wedge-tailed eagle's nest?
Yes, actually, yes, I have.
How cool is that? I did that last year, the year before, and there was
Skulls and
skulls of pelican and
all kinds of critters.
Oh, it was just I was there for hours picking through these skulls and said, well, that's part of a pelican, that's part of a buff-tailed possum, that's part of a sugar glider. Like, it was just gnarly. Like, I go to the extreme, and I'm sure a lot of other people do it on here too, where you break through the poo and you look at the bones, and it's just cool, really cool. No, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I tapped out.
That's okay.
What was the last bit that you said?
Last time that I was going through the bottom of a wedge-tailed eagle nest, I was actually breaking open the poo and just looking at the different bones, the different scats, and I find that fascinating. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm just trying to see. I've had someone send a message, and I'm just trying to see where they sent it, but I don't think I can recover it because they sent it on Facebook and not actually in the chat. So whoever sent the question that they wanted to ask, Mark, can you just comment it below here in the live, because they posted it on Facebook, but it's disappeared. So sorry about that.
What's the hardest thing you find in this industry? Because one of the things that I struggle with is, I think, the ego in the industry. The ego just runs riot, and I find true people like yourself. I've got a really close net of friends, and that is it. I don't talk to anyone else because the ego. I've always had a saying, "Leave your ego at the door," and unfortunately,
Yeah.
in this whole conservation zoo snake industry, it's just runs
Yeah,
riot.
look, I agree 100%. It's definitely the same. And even among wildlife carers, you do find that. And it's very disheartening because you would think in an industry like this, we would be supporting each other and, uplifting and, we're all in this together. So we need to
Yeah,
work
we should all support each
as
other.
a team.
We're in it for the animals.
So yeah, that is really tough, but it's definitely not one of the um, things that I struggle the most with. I did initially, but I've sort of all those people that I have issues with those sort of things that I don't feel that they're putting the animals first. I just don't have anything to do with them, and I've
No.
surrounded myself with amazing people, and I've got I'm really blessed to have a really good network of people that I've found by being persistent, and because I know a lot of carers end up giving up because they can't find a mentor or they can't someone makes them feel really crappy about themselves just
That's
because they're
one of the
trying.
reasons. I'm not going to say the organisation, but I was with an
No, don't.
organisation that. Well, come on, let me do it. No, I was with an organisation on the Central Coast,
Yep.
and I was with two organisations in the Central Coast. So that gives you a bit of an idea of what they are. But they made me feel like I was worthless.
Yeah.
Next to absolute no training, and if you get something wrong, you're branded an idiot. You're like, yeah. So, and that's why, if ever I was to become a rehabilitator, I'd probably go and by myself. I
Yeah.
don't think I'd want to go down the road of a
Yeah.
bigger organisation
It's
because
yeah.
yeah,
I
you get
honestly
what I'm
found the
saying.
exact same thing, Mark, when I was wanting to be a wildlife carer, and this is like 11 years ago. I found that it was really hard to find people that would want to share information. Your larger organizations already have their little cliques and things like that. I'm not saying that's every single organization by any means, but I experienced that and I was really disheartened. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to be an individual carer. I'll go to all the different training and do all of that. And
Yeah.
that's how I got to where I am. And now I've actually started an organization because I want to be different to what I experienced. And I want to make sure that everyone feels like, they've got that support and backing because it is so hard to find good carers
Oh,
because,
God.
like,
Good
it's,
carers that stay true to themselves, and I've
yes.
often thought about creating like an event for a couple of hours at Tambourine, just
Mm,
saying what wildlife is around here, and if you this is what to do if you want to
yeah.
join. But ABC, I've thought about it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons why we've started these lives because we really want to build community, and we really want other carers to know that they're not alone,
I think
and
it's great.
yeah, and build up a network of people that are safe and wanting to educate others and wanting to be a team and work together. Like I am, yeah, we need to Wild Animals just said, we need to reach out to each other and yeah, really connect with those that are genuine and yeah. So I mean,
Absolutely, yeah.
your question, I've gone off track, but I just wanted to share my experience with that too, because I definitely 100% resonate with what you're saying. But that's not an issue for me so much anymore because I've found my people. So I really encourage everyone to try and do the same. Just block those out that,
I found my people too, and it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
maybe two people maximum. And that is it. These are the people. If I'm having fauna spotting is, you know what? I worked at the RSPCA for 4.5 years.
yep,
I thought that job was tough. This is on another level of
yeah, yeah.
you've got to have your mental balls together.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
And it's hard.
that's why I've got my two couple of knit people. So when
Yeah,
I have a down days doing this job, I can call them
yep,
up and say this sucks. So it's
absolutely.
really
And
good
you
to
need to do
have
that.
yeah.
The amount of trauma that we experience from seeing some of these animals in situations that they're in,
Mm.
sometimes you need to just call someone that you know and trust and someone that has experienced exactly what you've just experienced to say, you know what, that's really crappy, that's really
Oh
really
yeah, I
crappy,
mean it's a
sorry.
fauna spotter. I've had days where I came home and just been broken,
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
broken,
yeah,
and
yep.
yeah, it's
And it
it's
doesn't get any easier either. It's not something that you
no, it doesn't.
can learn to live with. It's still trauma is trauma is trauma. So you just have to find ways to cope with it. But, it doesn't get any easier, and it's still
One
an hurts, and you're doing the right thing and everything, but it's still, not
one
good.
thing that I will say, if anyone is a wildlife carer out there, and as most fauna spotters have experienced this, if you are a wildlife carer and if a fauna spotter catcher brings something to you, don't give him a hard time. Don't talk down to him, because we get it really tough. I've been to quite a few veterinary clinics and one major organisation where I've had to hand stuff over, and they've treated us like we're the land clearers, and they've treated us like we were shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the one big message I'm going to say is anyone out there that's a fauna spotter, if they bring any wildlife to you that needs rehabilitating, don't give them a hard time, because we are the good guys. So,
Well, it's your goal
know,
to get that animal back into the wild as well, which is exactly like the
exactly.
wildlife rehabbers.
You know what I'm saying, though, right? Like we get it.
Yeah, 100%. You're in the exact same boat we're in, because you're wanting that animal to be well and to be released back into its environment. And you are spot on again with that one, because we feel it all the time too. As wildlife carers, you get members of public that get angry with you because you can't drop everything you're doing and go and drive 16 hours to go and pick something up.
God, I've had that.
Yeah, so we do very much as well receive the same thing. So I totally hear you, and that's really good advice, perhaps for rehabbers that might not have thought of it from that perspective. But we all want the same outcome, so it's not hard to be decent. Also, we don't know what kind of a day a person someone had as well. It's not hard to be a nice person and just go, okay, cool, thank you so much, and get the details you need to be, and not be a jerk about it.
I think as a fauna spotter to a worm, working as a snake catcher, you got to have a pretty twisted sense of humour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 100. But I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're getting pretty close to time. We've done 42 minutes. We're doing really well. So I'm going to ask a couple more fun questions, Mark, but I'm also just opening up the stage to see if anyone in the chat has any questions that they would like to ask. If you want to
questions, guys, ask away.
One of the questions that I had written down here for you is: have you ever named an animal you've relocated? Like, do you ever give them any nicknames or anything like that, or you just?
I learned very hardly. You can always say, and for anyone that is going into wildlife rehabilitation as a fauna spotter, you can say you won't get attached, but you do.
Yeah.
I was with this organisation down south, and I had a little baby swamp wallaby, and I named her Bridget.
Yep.
And I got so attached to her, like it broke down when I had to hand her over. To the next carer. But it's the only time I've really named an animal is when I had a little swamp wallaby, Bridget.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I did the mistake of I let her out of a patch too early. Yay! And then she wanted to get out, but looking after little Joey is like looking after a child. It's exhausting. So
it's very exhausting.
Yeah.
You can't see the grey hairs, but they're there. The bags are there. It's the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another one, I'm still waiting. There's no questions that have come up just yet. But what's your ultimate bucket list wildlife encounter? Do you have something that you've wanted to sort of interact with but haven't had a chance to yet?
Oh. I want to go cage diving with great whites. Stuff the cage. I want to go outside the cage. Stuff the cage. Nah, I want to go outside the cage. But I've been told if you go cage diving with great whites over at South Australia, wherever it is, you're not even allowed to put your hands on the bars. You got to sit there and you got to sit there. For me, I want to have a cage. I'm gonna wriggle my bum in the air to come over here.
Shark bait.
Jump.
Shark bait for sure. Nah, that's cool. Yeah, I want to go diving with sharks too, but you can't take kangaroos with you. It really, so not there yet.
Good.
All right, no questions as of yet. There was someone that asked a question. If you don't mind giving me a second, I'm going to have a quick look and see if I can find, because one popped up on my screen but then it just magically disappeared because I'm, in my 40s, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to.
How old are you?
I'm 43, I think.
You look 42. You look great.
Thank you. It's the lighting.
We all have grey hair because of the job we do.
100%. It's
Yeah.
not an easy job, but would you have it any other way?
No, actually, I do have a question to ask you.
Go.
What is your feeling about hazard reduction burns through the bushfires we've had previously? Are you with hazard reduction burns or do you hate them?
Look, I think they definitely serve a purpose, like coal burns,
Yeah.
as long as it's done properly. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a hard one because, I mean, I live in an area where we do have a lot of bushfires, and then there's a lot of damage, and a lot of animals come in. But I think when it's a bit more managed, and that's what's been
Yeah.
done for many, many years beforehand. Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh,
sort
there's
of my.
places in the Hawkesbury River that haven't burned in 30 years, and I'm looking at this fuel load thinking,
Wow.
this should be managed more. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I helped Walkabout Wildlife Park evacuate there down the Hawkesbury. I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
And I remember standing on top of this sandstill hill at about 2 in the morning and seeing this fire line. It didn't quite get to the park, but seeing this fire line thinking, do I want to be here for this? But yeah, there is a section of there that go all the way to the Blue Mountains that haven't been in 30 years. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it concerns me. It really does. And I hope to God we don't have what happened many years ago, because parts of that bush section still hasn't recovered.
Yes, that's exactly right. The damage is significant and catastrophic, really.
Yeah. Did you find out what that
I'm
person
sorry
was?
to whoever asked the question. I can't find it. But we do have another question for you now in the chat. It's asking, what do you need to do to become a snake relocator?
Okay, first off, you need to do your venomous snake handling course. Now, just because you've done your venomous snake handling course, I don't want anyone to go out there and think, I can go tail an Eastern Brown. Doesn't work like that. And I'll get to that in a second. You need to do your venomous snake handling course. If you're going to be a subcontractor, you need your own insurance, you need your damage mitigation permit, and you need your first aid certificate. And I think that's all you need. Now, getting on to when you do your venomous snake handling course, after that, you got to be confident. Please don't think, right, I can go and tail an Eastern Brown now. You're going to learn on the job. You're going to make mistakes. It's learned through experience, unfortunately. You can do all the venomous snake handling courses in the world. That's great, and I recommend you should do them. But nothing will beat that hands-on experience. I got a big Eastern Brown yesterday, biggest that I've caught. And the pressure's on, I got the client watching me, I got the client filming me with his phone, which just love that. But yeah, is that good advice?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's you can't be a hero, and it's not a thing that it's, there's okay, if you enjoy it and stuff like that, but it's not a cool factor. It's a very serious safety factor, and you need.
And just try and get as much hands-on experience as you can.
Yeah,
every snake has its different characteristics of body behavior.
Yeah, that's right.
Eastern Browns have got a really short attention span. It's like it's ADHD. They'll kind of mess up for a bit, and they'll go, "Oh, okay, what's over there?" Pythons or large carpet pythons, they'll stand up and they'll follow you, and they won't move until you backed off and they've walked away. But when you get them underneath the belly near the heart, they come right down. So each snake has got its different characteristics of body behavior.
That's exactly right. I find it useful for people if they've gone and done their certificate in handling venomous snakes, to also, if you can find keepers of venomous snakes that you can go and actually work with and volunteer, to help them with cleaning cages and things like that, and just get more hands-on experience, and make sure when you do your certification that you do it through someone that's really good. That makes a difference.
Yeah, there are some interesting organizations.
So another question: what distance is acceptable for relocation of snakes?
To the most suitable habitat where it won't come into contact with housing or people. Here's one of the major issues I face as a snake catcher and a fauna spotter catcher. We're supposed to release to the site as close as possible. But, here's the but. Queensland is now the highest place in Australia for deforestation. If I have a 2 metre eastern brown and there's no habitat there anymore, where am I going to release it? So I'm going to release it in an area where it won't come into contact with people, it won't come into contact with houses or roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Because you've
It
got
is a really hard one. I mean,
legalities.
we're supposed to release, I mean, with brush-tailed possums, I think we got to release 20 metres away. I think 20 metres, isn't it? Yeah,
and
okay, that's cool. But I've had many disagreements with people in the veterinary industry. It's okay, cool. When you release, when you go back to that site, you show me where the habitat is. If there's nothing there, what would make my life so much more easier as a fauna spotter catcher, which I hope to God one day this happens, is we do the site inspections, cool. After that, habitat boxes go up. So when all this land is being cleared, I can go from A, glider, to box up there. That would make my life so much more easier.
Yeah.
So we got this massive pressure on our shoulders, when we release an animal. Does it survive? Is it going to do okay? Brush-tailed possums and ring-tailed possums, they're hardy. They'll live in palm trees. It's the more smaller animals, the sugar gliders, the squirrel gliders, the greater gliders, with that the micro bats. They don't have hollows. They die. And there are many fauna spotters out there that have had to release these animals back into the same location they caught these animals. And there's no habitat.
Yeah.
So, and it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. So, mandatory boxes, mandatory nest boxes, and yeah.
Oh, it would make my life so much more easier.
Yeah, definitely. Just out of curiosity too, a personal, well, it's not personal, but a question coming just from me is: do you feel that fauna spotter catchers get enough training before they're actually able to go out and get a job?
I don't know if I can answer that because I didn't do a fauna spotter catcher course. I had all this experience behind me. Then almost 3 years ago to the day, I joined up with a company, legendary company that I work with now.
Yep.
And he said, off you go. It goes back to the snake handling courses. You can pick up a captive eastern brown, you can pick up a captive brush-tailed possum, but you're not going to learn, especially with a brush-tailed possum, you're not going to learn until that thing does a kung fu and wants to rip your face off.
It's the field work that you really get your experience.
That field work, hands-on, balls deep experience that the only way you're going to get it is when you're on the job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, there's an interesting initiative that we've just started here in my local council area where I'm helping Indigenous rangers are coming in to the sanctuary and assisting with volunteering with cleaning cages, etc., to get that hands-on experience with handling animals. So when they eventually get their fauna spotter catcher license, they'll be able to, already have a bit of that hands-on experience. So there's pretty much starting from scratch. But I think it's a really good initiative, and I really think, I really thank you for coming on, because I think it's really important that we're all working together, and we show initiative that where we all have the same end goal. So, we do need to work together. And I appreciate the fact that you brought up about, carers being sometimes abrupt. That I think that's really good information for us to take on board. And because, we feel like we cop it from members of public, and then, you're saying, oh, we sometimes feel like we cop it from carers. So, it's not hard to be a decent human and realize that we all do the same thing.
Support each other. We're all in it because we're the wildlife,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of a bit sad that we even have to say that. Like, it should be just a given that that's how you would treat that person. But that's
right. You know what I find really frustrating, what really gets me is I've had my social media page now for 7.5 years.
Yep.
And I'm not interested in fame. Not interested in the slightest. I'm not interested in making money out of it because I don't even make 5 cents. I do it because of conservation.
There's no money.
The more views I get for conservation awareness, the better.
Yes.
I may get 1,000 views. Joe Blow from Mexico goes and jumps off a bridge or does something stupid and gets 50,000 views. And Not that. Look,
I know. It's infuriating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Yes, it's very frustrating with what the community supports as opposed to, really important, valuable messages that just sort of get ignored. Oh yeah, I hear you.
So if you haven't guessed, sometimes I ramble on, I go off other things. So that's my
That's
ADHD
okay.
level.
We're learning a lot, so I think it's good. It's good to have this varied conversation. So no, again, Mark, thank you so much for. Oh yes, we've just had a comment brought up about AI and the damages that AI is doing. Because they get a lot of your big watches and views and stuff as well. All the AI crap that people are creating as opposed to real life stories.
This is getting really dangerous. I got a good friend of mine who's a voiceover actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I said to him the other week, how do you think AI is? What do you think of AI over this? He said, if we're not careful, it's going to destroy us.
Yep.
It's AI really scares me too. I mean, the way you could put my face on the internet and I could say discussing derogatory comments. And like my wife showed me the other day, I was like, "Oh my god! Like,
Yes.
how is this? This needs to be stopped."
It's quite scary. Yeah.
I don't agree with what they're doing now with Steve Irwin and Michael Jackson and all these dead celebrities. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot actually. It's coming up on my timeline. I'm like, oh, I don't know why.
Leave it alone.
But again, it's just for the views and the likes, and the people just trying to make a name for themselves. And yeah, it's very frustrating when we're on the ground trying to spread important news and important work, and then you see Michael Jackson's talking with a monkey next to him, and it's not even real, and you're just like, wow, 6 million views, no worries. Yep.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. But thank you so much, Mark, for coming on.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Travelling Bushman. Just to let everyone know, we will be going live in a fortnight on Sunday at 6:30. We've got a group of wildlife carers that we're going to be chatting to, and we're coming into trauma season with spring, so we're getting lots of rescues, lots of call outs. We're all under the pump, so we're going to have a lighthearted chat and talk about some of our rescues and some positives. So build each other up. So please come along, jump in the comments and share your stories with us. And again, thank you, Mark. And we hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening.